The characters are flatter than the sheet of paper they're printed on, except that's not true because I'm reading the ebook and my phone has more dimension than these characters. It is explicit, the way that they're fucking on page. I was like, I'm gonna tell you the truth here. I think it's because she let him hit it from the back. And in this society, women and men can only sleep together in missionary position. I don't know who's verifying that. It's Shar. Welcome back to my channel. This is the third time I have filmed an intro for one of these videos. I'm gonna try to do it this way, which is odd for me because it's mirrored, but I'm gonna just pick a random spot here. This one. And let's see what it is. I know what it is, and that most certainly is not what I was in the mood to read for. So that's definitely a bad pick on my part. I got mini books, picks my TBR for today. I'm very zoomed in, but shh, it's strategic. Let me get my mini books so we can pick one. At the end of 2023, I decided that I was going to do away with a TBR. I was no longer going to do monthly TBRs and fully embrace my mood reader self and personality as someone who reads like 7 different books at the same time. But I thought, what's a fun way for me to still incorporate some of those challenges and still have the fun of picking a TBR without being committed to a TBR for a long time? And so I decided that I was going to do this video series featuring a wheel spinner. Now, these got very, very popular in 2023, and I personally have so much fun with them. But for this video series, what I'm going to be doing every so often on my channel is spinning a wheel of random challenges. So wrapped books, miniature books, TBR lottery, random number generator, blindly picking my TBR. Any one of those things are on the wheel, and I will spin that wheel and we will get a challenge, and then that challenge will determine how I pick my TBR for these vlog videos. Moving forward, these are going to be a lot more long form in terms of it will actually be a week-long reading vlog. But I really wanted to post this video before March, but with my reading plans for February and just my video plans, I'm not going to have time to do a week-long reading challenge like this. So I figured we could have a little preview of what is to come on this channel, and I would instead do a 24-hour version of this channel as a little bit of an intro. So I am going to spin a wheel. It's on my phone, so I will put the screen recording here and just talk you through what I'm doing. So I'm going to spin this wheel here. We're going to get a random challenge, and of course you already know what the challenge is, but I don't, so I will see you in approximately 0.25 seconds with the information about what challenge will be dictating my reading for the next 24 hours. So I got random number generator as the challenge that's dictating what I'm going to read for the next 24 hours. I want to aim to read 2 books in this video. So I got number 149, which thankfully I'm able to do this because I have all of my books cataloged in a spreadsheet. So 149 is No One Can Know by Kate Alice Marshall. Am I disappointed? Mildly. As much as I love Kate Alice Marshall's works sometimes, I really wanted to read a romance. But that's not how this challenge works. I got what I got, and so we are going to read No One Can Know by Kate Alice Marshall. But the real question is, can I find No One Can Know on this bookshelf? I know why I can't find it on this bookshelf. Oh my gosh, no! Y'all, it's wrapped up. It's wrapped up. That leaves me with quite the dilemma. If I unwrap this book, that means that technically I'm taking away a book from another challenge. So maybe this will be our redemption and I can actually spin again and hopefully get a romance. Fingers crossed. Also, I know the lighting is shit. It always is in my bedroom. Listen, it's dark as fuck in here. Constantly. I don't have a big light. I only have a lamp. All right, I know the angle has changed like 8,000 times, but I did spin the wheel again since the original spin that I got is actually wrapped up, and that would take away a book from another challenge. So I got book number 39, and book number 39 on my spreadsheet is this one right here. When I saw that, I was like, what the fuck is this? Though genuinely, like, so confused, realized I picked it up on Stuff My Kindle Day, which is a day where you get like books for free, and this is actually a romance. This is a romance that's under 300 pages, so it should be super easy to finish, and it is following a woman who is grieving. I believe she lost her mother, and her mother left her a lake house, so she has to go and kind of settle these affairs, but the house is undergoing renovations, and this is where we meet our love interest, Derek, I think, who is a construction worker in charge of the renovations in the home, and they fall in love. I'm expecting a very emotional story, but I'll see you with my first impression.
Did I read anything last night? A little bit, but mostly I spent 3.5 hours watching Taylor Swift in Tokyo. I am in TJ Maxx, and I'm here for one reason and one reason only, and that is to come for Riley's cute ass cardigan collection. The problem is that a lot of these cardigans are going to be in like the teen section. It's difficult, but I can make it work. I can push it into an extra large, so just gotta find those clothes. So let's do a little bit of shopping together.
Here you are, face to face in this trashy bar. Another glass and I am going places. Makes me laugh about the irony of everything. I like the way you're thinking. I don't really care about the music on the dance floor. I don't really mind all the smokers in the bathroom. I don't care at all, baby. You got my attention. So you were saying, oh no, I don't see the logic of things. It's quite a lonely world that we're living in. Oh baby, you are something special, I'm sure. Everything makes total sense when you're next to me.
Alright, that concludes the little shopping trip for today. I came home to my walking pad, so I do have to assemble my standing desk now and my walking pad. However, I figured you didn't ask, but I'm going to show you anyway the things that I picked up while I was out today. So the first thing is super boring. This is actually what I went out for, and it's hangers, which TJ Maxx and Home Goods and Burlington always have these kind of hangers at a super discount. And despite the cute ass cardigans that were there, I couldn't find things that were like big enough size for me, but also all the things that were like this very pretty green color that just does not flatter my complexion. I looked very sickly, and it was emphasizing like a greenish undertone in my skin, so I put those back. And instead, I got these super cute hair accessories, which were exorbitantly priced because what the fuck, but they're quite beautiful. This one is my personal favorite because of course it matches my whole aesthetic, and I do have bangs, but I pin them back when my hair is curly just because shrinkage, they get up here when they're curly, so I have to have hair accessories for that. So this is my favorite one. And then I got this super cute bandana because it's 60 degrees in New York City today, and I was like, spring is knocking on the door. I love this one so much. It's so beautifully made and makes me excited for the day where I can crochet this kind of pattern. And then I decided, why not go to Sephora? Why not? So the thing that I did go to Sephora for was this, the Tarte Maracuja lip oil or juicy lip. Don't know what it is. This, and I got this in a very pretty color called Strawberry, which is like a very soft, like peachy red, which I'm super excited about, but it's Sephora and it's Tarte. So this one thing cost $24. And then I thought, let me go to the minis because the foundation that I have now, which sometimes you'll see me wearing in videos, is like the KVD Good Apple one, which I really, really love, but it oxidizes a lot, and in wintertime it's too dark for me. So I wanted to get a new concealer. So NARS has these like radiant concealers, and this was the one that I thought was closest to my complexion in the little mini samples that they have. And finally from Sephora, these are the only 3 things I picked up from Sephora, was this mini Rare Beauty. I have the blush already, but mine's like a very deep red, which I love, but I want to see how this soft pink one would work. I think it's closer to the natural pink and redness in my cheeks, so just wanted to play around with that. These 3 things alone, $60. Yeah. Then I had to go to the library to return some books, and while I was there, I was like, Their selection was really good. This is a little sneak peek for a video that I have coming up because I'm going to be reading historical romances in February. Destiny's Captive by Beverly Jenkins. This is like a pirate historical romance where she's the daughter of a pirate and he's like, what the fuck just happened? Because she takes his ship. Technically Yours, which I've spoken about before. This one I'm super excited about and I hope that I love. It's like a workplace second chance romance. Fleet Cute, my third attempt with Meryl Wilsner, which I hope that I love. Sapphic sports romance. And finally, this book, which still has the little sticker because it was on display. This one's also sapphic, and I think it's like vampires. Don't know, but it's been on my TBR for a long time, and I actually had it on hold. But when I went to this library, I was like, it's right there. So of course I picked it up. All right, that concludes the little haul. Let me update you on this book right here. I don't like it. I don't like it. The characters are flatter than the sheet of paper that prints it on, except that's not true because I'm reading the ebook and my phone has more dimension than these characters. I'm not gonna say the writing is bad because it's not. It's just not to my taste. It's not what I prefer. There's this thing the author is doing which really annoys me, and that is when the character is in this situation and then they keep interrupting that scene with like their constant like dialogue in their heads, and like I don't care like what's happening, because to me it feels like you're watching a movie and then someone presses pause to have a long ass conversation with you and then they press resume, and I don't like that. However, I like the hero in this story a little bit more. He is a construction worker who's working on the house her late mother left her, and he's also apparently a firefighter and a single dad. And just like, of course he would be a construction worker slash firefighter slash single father. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't think I'm going to like it. I honestly see myself rating this 2 stars, but I am being admittedly harsh because I'm only 3 or 4 chapters into this story, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it's under 280 pages, so keep in mind that is some ways into the book. I don't know. I try to give you the update on that. I'm not enjoying it, but that is part of the course of this kind of video and this kind of challenge, is that I will get books that I'm not in the mood to read, and that just is what's going to be. But I hope that I end up loving this book. I'm on sprints right now for a Galentine's Day readathon, so I'm going to go back to those, and I'll see you when I finish this book. All right, I'm here with the update, and unfortunately I do have bad news. I'm DNFing this book. I didn't like it. I didn't like it, and I knew that if I kept reading, I was going to give this book 1 star. As I mentioned, the characters were very flat and one-dimensional. They were both supposed to be dealing with grief, but I never felt the grief throughout that story, and repeating that they're dealing with grief doesn't mean that there's grief in the story itself in terms of evoking any kind of emotions. All of the characters felt like they were the same, which is honestly impressive to make characters who are so different feel the same. They kept equating big city life to like hustle and bustle and wearing designer clothes and just caring about appearances. And of course, every big city in the world is New York City. And as someone who is a native New Yorker and grew up here, no, we don't walk around wearing designer clothes all the time. Not everyone is maxing out their credit cards, and not everyone is an asshole. Of course, small town life was quaint and calm and slow, and everyone was so friendly, and people actually cared about each other. And I was like, I know exactly what you are doing here, and it's to say that her city life, she was a big city career girl, obviously inferior to her life here in this small little quaint town where she can relax and enjoy the moment, because that's what you've told us so many fucking times. And also, my girl's ex, what's his name? I don't know, and neither does the author, because he goes from Evan to Ethan every time he's mentioned, every single time, to show you how irrelevant these people are. Backstories, what's that? What's that? These characters don't have any backstories, don't have any family. She's a big city career girl and he's a single dad who's struggling. There's nothing else there. How does her mother die? You don't know. You don't know. You never find out. And for those reasons, as you can see from my very passionate conversation with you all, I'm going to stop reading this book here. I got to page 72 after reading all fucking day, and I was like, that's enough. That is enough. I don't care, and if I keep reading this book, I'm gonna give it 1 star. I went ahead and randomly number generated the next book for this vlog, which is here. You can see, I'm forgetting the number exactly because this was last night. We ended up with I'll Never Be Your Crown Princess, which is a manga, which I really enjoyed. This is the story of a woman who has reincarnated. She used to be a woman who lived in Japan, and she's reincarnated, and she's now like the daughter of this prime minister in this city that has like magic and this world, and she still remembers her past life, and I'm sure will come more into play in later books throughout the manga. But her father arranges a marriage between herself and the prince, the crown prince, and she does not want to marry the crown prince because they practice polygamy, and she's like, whatever, that's fine, but I don't want my husband to have concubines. I don't want him to have other lovers. Like, I'm not into that. So she comes up with this scheme because this society is like fairly liberal. They don't really care if women are virgins. It's like largely a social construct, except for the royal family. The person who marries into the royal family has to be a virgin, and that only applies to women because of course it does. So she decides that she's going to use this to her advantage. She's going to go and lose her virginity at this masquerade ball because there's this kind of rake character who picks women and he goes out and sleeps with them, and the women don't say anything, like, yeah, I just had a really amazing time, he's great in bed. And she's like, fantastic, if I'm not a virgin, I cannot marry the prince. So she finds this guy, she sleeps with it. This is a steamy manga, so it is explicit. The way that they are fucking on page, you can see it. And that was an interesting experience for me because I was like, I can literally see it, not just in my head. It was on page, and the way I tell you, I was blushing. I was like, oh, scandalized, clutching my pearls as if I don't read smut all the time. But anyway, they fuck, and she's like, cool, I'm not a virgin anymore. So she goes to her house, and guess who's there? It's the crown prince. He proposes, and she takes him to the side in private and says, actually, I can't marry you because I'm not a virgin. And he's like, actually, I know that because you slept with me last night. He's decided that he is in love with her and that she's going to be his wife. That's where the story goes. That part was very, very fun. Although it very much is insta-love. He sees her when she's literally wearing a mask. And despite all of the women that he slept with throughout his time, he loves her. I'm gonna tell you the truth here. I think it's because she let him hit it from the back. And in this society, women and men can only sleep together in missionary position. I don't know who's verifying that, but apparently that's a rule. You can only sleep together in missionary position, but she's sheltered and she doesn't know. And she's like, yeah. So she gets into the position where he can go in the back. And I think genuinely the way he emphasized that, I think, is that why you like it? Like, is that why you think you're in love with her after seeing her for 2 seconds and spending one night together where you did not even speak? You just banged all night? I don't know. But she's not happy. She's stuck in a marriage with him. But ultimately, I'm giving this book 3 stars. Here's why. That story that I just told you happens in the first third of the book, from her perspective. Then the second third of the book is the exact same story, but from his perspective. And then the third section of the book is the exact same story, but novelized. Why did I hear the same story 3 times? And you think it would add more nuance, and in a way it did. It was for character development, but from a reading experience, no, I don't want to hear the same story 3 times. I hate alternating point of views, and I hate alternating points of view even more when you're going back and reading the exact same scene that you just read from another character's point of view. So I want to be very honest and transparent, and like, that's why I'm giving this book 3 stars. But if you're interested in it and you were trying to find like a very steamy, explicit manga, this was pretty fun. Will I continue with the story? Probably not, but I'm happy that we at least got somewhat of a win in this video. Hey besties, and that does bring us to the end of the video. This was just a little sampler, as I mentioned, of a full-on series that I will have on my channel moving forward. I'm not sure if I disclaimed this earlier on, but if I didn't, I don't think I'm some creative genius who came up with this idea. I personally haven't seen it in like vlog format before. I'm not sure if I've ever seen it before, but I don't pay that much attention when I watch videos. If someone else has already done this video concept, then 100% full credit to them, but I am not aware of who's done this or if I have seen this before. I just thought this would be a fun video concept. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll look forward to the longer version of these videos where it is a week-long random challenge picks my TBR, and I will see you on Wednesday with a very fun Valentine's Day themed video. Bye!